do this.
Yeah, buddy.
We are here.
Ladies first, man.
Ladies first, man. Oh, there are no ladies here.
Lawyers first. Lawyers first.
Lawyers first. Lawyers first.
Good morning. Guess what? It's going to be more than 70 degrees today.
Yeah.
How do you like that? Maybe not here in New York City, but in back home where I'm from, you know, a small little slice of heaven we call New Jersey. It's going to be about 73 degrees. Good morning, everybody. My name is Adam Handler. I am your case handler. Squeeze is trying to show the Facebook Live viewers his view right now, but it looks like he's living in a cloud.
Very foggy out there, man.
Foggy. It is Thursday, the 25th of March. And we are attorneys, and this is a show we call Cruising with the Case Handler. It's a show by attorneys for you, just to let you know who we are, what we do, and how we do it. Again, my name is Adam Handler. I'm your case handler. I've been practicing law for over 17 years, exclusively focusing on plaintiff's personal injury, meaning I represent you and your family if, God forbid, disaster strikes you and you're in an accident. We go against the insurance company to make sure you get everything you're entitled to. Your time out of work, your medical bills, your lost wages. I've gotten over $130 million from my clients over my career, $20 million last year alone. And again, we're hoping you never need our services, but God forbid you do. It's important that you know how to contact us. Our phone number is 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529, or easy to remember, 844-PPID Law. PPID are the initials of our firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. I'm down with PPID. Conrad's down with PPID. The General, Alan K, is down with PPID. Squeeze, I was asking you for months. I know you're down with PPID. I guess the question, ladies and gentlemen, that I have for you today, you know, at 9:33 a.m., tuning in on 93.5 FM, are you down with PPID? And if you're down with PPID, you got to let me know. You got to give us a call, have that number saved in your phone, maybe even take advantage of that free phone consultation that we're offering for immigration. You know where you stand with respect to your family's status, your family's legacy here in the United States. Or, go one step further. Check out the Case Handler on Facebook. Check out the Case Handler on Instagram. Every day I get another alert. So-and-so is following you. So-and-so sharing, so-and-so, likes your page. It makes me so happy knowing that what we're saying out there is giving a response, that people are down with PPID, that people are interested in what the case handler is doing, and maybe having some peace of mind, Squeeze, knowing that there's an attorney out there that's going to fight for you like family. That's not just on the radio, screaming their head off about all this money, but is really focusing on treating you as an individual and not just grouping you in with hundreds of other files. So that's what we do here. I'm a third-generation attorney. My family's been practicing for almost 100 years here in New York City. And I'm happy to share that passion, that knowledge, that experience, and that success with you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Adam Handler, folks. Once again, the attorney that has made history on this radio station, 93.5 WVIP FM. He has made history. So we want to say thanks to, of course, Adam Handler for definitely, taking care of the Caribbean community and beyond. You really have proven yourself. And I want to say thanks to you and your staff and everything that you have done over the past 15 years for this community. It's not easy, Adam, Alan, to find good attorneys. It's not easy. Seriously, it is just not easy. I mean, there's so many attorneys out there. And when people get into accidents or they get into a bit of a trouble or a pickle, as we would say, it's like, how do you choose your attorney? How do you find a good attorney? How? So I'm very happy that you have proven yourself on this station. There's no one, in my opinion, in this community that can say, Adam Handler is not a great attorney. No one, because of what you have done. And you have done it so effortlessly, by helping people the way people should be helped, not treating them like a number. So if anyone is out there and they do get hurt in an accident, all they simply need to do is to reach out to you, Adam Handler, at 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID law. You're also with a firm that is a very powerful firm when it comes to immigration. The firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, referred to as PPID, was built on immigration. And we're very happy to have them within the Caribbean community, helping out thousands of people. And that's the reason why, as Adam noted, give them a call. Get a free mini initial consultation and then hire them. Their number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Call them before the top of the hour and get that free immigration consultation, and then you hire them. With that said, let's see a face that I've not seen in a while on the panel today. All right. As a matter of fact, both faces I haven't seen in a while. All right. Alan E.K., the general. How you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
It's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back. All right. And Mr. Conrad Pollack, how are you doing today?
Good. Yeah, I haven't been here in a while. It feels weird being back on the radio after like this past week. I've been traveling a lot. Also got my second shot and I was a little under the weather.
How did that go?
What's that?
How did that go?
It went well. It's just, again, like I said, it kind of, hit me harder than I thought.
Yeah, that's what it did. It did that to me too. The first one did.
Yeah, some people, I didn't have any issues with the first shot, but the second shot affected me a little bit. So, but I'm good now, back in the saddle, raring to go. Alan and I have been talking, a lot to talk about developments with immigration. And of course, I believe our president is going to be having his first news conference tonight. Is it tonight?
Yep.
And I can assure you that there'll be plenty of talk about immigration. Unfortunately, a lot of it will be about what's going on down at the southern border, because that's all that the anti-immigration crowd has to talk about. When in fact, yes, it's terrible what's going on down there, but it's no different really than what happens every spring. And it's also caused to a great extent by the previous administration and how they hollowed out the asylum system. It's a complicated story. It's a complicated mess. And I think there are good people in charge, and I think it's going to be resolved to most people's satisfaction. Alan, you agree?
I agree with you, and let's see what happens tonight.
Okay. All right. Once again, folks, Conrad Pollack and Alan E.K., attorneys at the firm. Conrad Pollack is a managing partner there. Alan E.K. is the general because of his depth, his experience, his knowledge, his wherewithal when it comes to immigration. Hence the reason why he's on this program. And I'm about to ask him to give us any other updates that he may have on the program about immigration. Once again, folks, I am David Annakie, CEO of the Link Up Media Group of Companies, and I'm here with 3 attorneys, not just any attorneys, but the real solid attorneys that's got depth and experience. Call the firm now at 844-774-3529. As a matter of fact, store the number. You may not need them now, but store the number, 844-PPID-LAW. Let's kick it over to Alan E.K., one of the attorneys on the panel today on 93.5 WVIP FM and Facebook. As you all follow and share, please, thank you so much in advance, and see if he has any updates for us. Mr. K.
Okay, let me give you some updates and stop me when you want to move on. Okay, let's talk about ICE first. According to a March 9th report, ICE arrests fell by more than 60% in the month of February. Good news. And there's a new interim immigration priority under the Biden administration. And so ICE is focusing now on national security, border security, and public safety. Under the previous administration, anybody who was out of status was subject to be arrested. So that's good. And the Biden administration also, dealing with ICE, has created a new appeal process that will allow immigrants to more easily challenge their arrests, their detention, the deportation. This is called the ICE case review process. And under this process, immigrants or their lawyers can request arrest, detention, or deportation to be reviewed by ICE to determine whether they should go ahead or whether it meets the administration's new enforcement priorities, which are basically national security, border security, and public safety. Okay, now, there's a new ombudsman. Her name is Phyllis Coven. It's a picture of Phyllis Coven. I expect to be interviewing her soon. She was the district director in New York. She was the district director in Los Angeles. She has a lot of experience. And so now she's going to be the head of the Ombudsman's office. And the Ombudsman office is not part of USCIS. It's part of the Department of Homeland Security, but not CIS. And many people go to the Ombudsman's office who have immigration problems. Now, normally PPID can take care of this for you. If necessary, we can go to the Ombudsman's office. So the fact that Phyllis Coven is the new Ombudsman is a very good sign. And as I say, I expect to be interviewing her soon. Okay, now we know that the Biden administration has decided that we're not going to use the term alien anymore. The term is now going to be non-citizen, which is a very good sign. We know that the health insurance proclamation that was issued under the previous administration has been enjoined. The court has held it up. Now, change in immigration comes three ways. Change in immigration comes through executive orders, and about 1,000 of those were done under the previous administration. Change also comes through regulation, better than executive order, and change comes through legislation, the best possibility. So we're hoping to see more regulations and more legislation rather than executive orders. We're also hoping and expecting that there's going to be a change in attitude among government officials. They're going to have to relearn, American consuls, USCIS, to be more compassionate. It's going to take some time because under the previous administration, immigration was not favored, and that's where they got to be less compassionate. We're hoping that's going to happen now. Also, biometric delays. Biometrics are really important in connections with an immigration case. You have to do your biometrics before the case can move on. There are 91,000 cases waiting for biometrics. So these biometrics delays are going to slow up a lot of people's immigration cases. So keep an eye on that, and we will continue to talk about that.
Great.
PPS, temporary protective status. Venezuela has been granted temporary protective status. And so these people from Venezuela are allowed.
Why were they granted that?
That's already been granted. The registration period, the TPS, temporary protective status for Venezuela, started March 9th, 2021, will go on for about 18 months. So that's a good sign. If you know people, anybody who's listening from Venezuela.
But Alan and Conrad, I'm asking, why is it that Venezuela was granted TPS? I mean, normally that's granted when there's some major disaster, right? So you can expound on that. I mean,
Squeeze, you actually listen to the things we talk about on this show.
Yes, I do.
I'm impressed. I think even the case handler might know the answer to that question just from osmosis, you know?
Osmosis is the word, right? It's trickling through, you know?
It doesn't have to be a disaster to be granted temporary protective status.
Well, it doesn't have to be a natural disaster, but it has to be a disaster. Political will suffice.
Okay, all right.
So if you know people from Venezuela, people who are listening, they are granted temporary protective status, will get permission to work, and this will go on for about 18 months till September 9, 2022. So good sign on temporary protective status. Now also, there are two bills which passed the House, which can help a lot of people. One of the bills is called the American Dream and Promise Act. And if this goes into law, it passed the House, it will provide a path for citizenship, permanent residence and citizenship for several million dreamers and TPS holders. The second bill that passed the House is called the Farm Workforce Modernization Act. And that will protect more than 1 million undocumented farm workers and their families. So both of these bills, the American Dream and Promise Act and the Farm Workforce Modernization Act, passed the House with bipartisan support, Republicans and Democrats, and now it's going to be taken up in the Senate. And hopefully it'll go through the Senate, because both of those bills will be very helpful to a lot of people.
Alan, what I'm going to do, I'm going to kick it over to Adam for a minute, then we'll come back and let you top it off after we get some questions in.
Let's go.
If you don't mind. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan E.K., we call him the general because of his experience and knowledge in the capacity of immigration. And of course, he's with the firm PPID, Pollack, Isaac, and Seco. I urge each and every one out there, when you need true help where immigration is concerned, reach out to the firm. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW. Once again, 844-PPID-LAW. And the firm is not only about immigration. Of course, it's also about other areas, such as personal injury. You heard from the case handler himself, Adam Handler. And we're going to kick it over to him to see if he has a true success story on a Thursday where we throw it back, all right, with him. Adam Handler, are we throwing back? You may want to unmute, you know.
Yeah, I got it. I was actually, while the general and the maestro were talking, I was actually trying to get some work in, you know. It's, we're practicing attorneys. I think that's a focus that we need to explain a little bit further, is that, you know, yes, we're on the radio. Yes, we're advertising. We're doing the show. We're giving this information out to you. But we are all practicing attorneys, meaning we are the attorneys that are actually working on your case, going to court for you, representing you, filing the documents ourselves. You know, when you come to a lawyer, you're expecting, I would think, that lawyer is going to be the one representing you. You know, lawyers, it's a profession. It's not like you go to a good restaurant and you'll take whatever waiter. You know, usually when you're referred to a firm, you're referred to a specific attorney that has been successful for somebody else that they're vouching for. And it's really important, ladies and gentlemen, that you understand that when you, and I'm talking about just my work in specifically, is that when you get into an accident and you want Adam Handler, the case handler, be working on your file, that's what's going to happen, right? You know, I have an associate, Matt Goodstein. We work on cases together, but it's extremely important that you understand that my hands are on each file, each case, each settlement, each integral part of your lawsuit to make sure that you're feeling satisfied. You know, a lot of firms, they'll take your case, pass it on to a lawyer that you've never heard. 6 months later, that lawyer may not even work there anymore. You know, we've had those calls that I went to a firm. I thought this lawyer is going to work on it. He's not even there anymore. I don't know what to do. They're not calling me back. I keep getting passed around to different people that don't know about my case. That won't happen here. All right. I am the practicing attorney. I am the managing attorney. I'm the partner in charge of the personal injury practice. You will know exactly who's handling your file and what's going on with your case at every single instance. And Squeeze, I think that is something that puts us above everybody else. That puts us in a different category. There are a lot of great lawyers out there. Not every lawyer, though, is going to treat you as an individual. Not every lawyer is going to get you that best possible result. And certainly not every lawyer is going to be working on your case from start to finish as you want them to. And I really do believe that's just another thing that makes our firm special and unique. You know, Pollack, Isaac, and Seco are practicing attorneys. Everybody is working on their files, and it's a big difference. Speaking of Throwback Thursday, and speaking of Matt Goodstein, whose birthday is coming up on Saturday, let's throw it back to a case that we worked on together. Squeeze, this is a case that we had talked about several months ago, but it's Stacy from Rockaway Park, and Stacy actually is the name of my wife, although my Stacy spells it with an I. And if you can read that quote for me, Squeeze, I would appreciate it.
Absolutely. Once again, folks, thank you so much for joining Cruising with the Case Handler, a show brought to you by the firm PPID. All right, so listen up. If you want to see what it is that I'm about to read or check out the cases, go to thecasehandler.com and get the most powerful personal injury attorney in your phone, 844-PPID law. All right, it says here, listen, if you want good lawyers, Adam and Matt are the best you can get. I was a nervous wreck, but they calmed me down and told me that everything would be okay. They were right. Everything was excellent. Stacy from BK, Brooklyn, a settlement of $180,116.25. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
Adam Handler and Matt Goodstein did that.
And you know, those crooked numbers at the end really do show how we fight. to make sure that we get you every single dime you're entitled to. Of
Penny,
that 180,000,
every single penny.
everything. I mean, listen, as we say to our juries at the end of the case, you know, Stacy is entitled to $180,116.25. Not a penny more, but not a penny less. And that's for her injuries, her time out of work, and her medical bills. And we got exactly what she was entitled to. It was a judgment. It was a jury verdict. It was a case in which she was hit by a taxi cab that rear-ended her vehicle. You can see the damage to the back of her vehicle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listening on 93.5 FM, this is what I'm talking about. Check out the case handler on Facebook. Check out the case handler on Instagram. You'll see these photographs that we're talking, that we're discussing this morning. And you can see the back of the car, you know, damaged, but not really, really badly damaged. But squeeze, the whole case was about this crash bar that was on the bottom. And if you can see, the bumper is banged up, but the crash bar underneath the vehicle is dented in, that metal crash bar. Right. So we actually had to hire an expert to show that even though the damage to the bumper wasn't that severe, the crash bar and what the metal it was made of, the fact that it was bent in showed the severity of the impact, because that was really what the argument was. Oh, it wasn't a heavy impact. How can she be that hurt? Well, obviously, we proved our case and we're successful for her. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want, as Stacy says, not my Stacy, but this Stacy, the best possible attorneys representing you and your family, I highly suggest you take this number down. I highly suggest you store it in your phone. I highly suggest you Google the case handler when disaster strikes. Bad things happen to good people. You cannot prepare for an accident. You can only prepare for your response. And what is your response going to be when that taxi cab runs into your back? When that taxi cab is claiming that, you know, it's not a serious accident, when that insurance company is only offering you a few $1,000s for your case, but it's really worth over 180,000. Hopefully, the case handler, hopefully Matt Goodstein, hopefully PPID will be your attorneys to right that wrong.
There you go. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Handler. Now you know why. We have
Alan's always smiling when I talk. I don't know. I think he is. I'm like a snake charmer. Like, you know, man, he's good. He knows what he's saying here.
There's a reason why we named the show after you, brother. There is a reason why, you know. Adam Handler, the case handler, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, remember, reach out to the firm, 844-774-3529. Get your immigration questions in. And speaking about getting questions in, I'm going to flip it over to immigration. Now you just heard on personal injury from Adam Handler. Once again, if you get hurt in an accident, make sure you have his number in your phone. You will need it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, quick question here. It says, on immigration, I am seeking your advice on how to proceed with appealing the cancellation of my United States visa due to the suspicion of unlawful employment. My visa was canceled in August last year when I arrived at the airport in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The reason for this suspicion is because I stayed 4 months on my visa last year, and they assumed that I was working. And they assumed that I was working because I mentioned about helping a friend to do some painting. I'm kindly seeking your advice in the matter of appealing. But that's a visitor's visa thing, right?
It is.
We've got to find out where this person is now. He's saying that the visa was canceled, so I'm assuming he's back home in his own country. So we really want to find out more details on what happened with the case. And this was a problem that he had with CBP, Customs and Border Protection, at the airport. So we need more details. We want to find out, try to challenge that and see if we can restore his visa.
Well, Alan, Conrad, I mean, seriously speaking though, how much can you guys do in reference to helping people with visitors visa? I mean, I think isn't that more?
There is no appeal. Consular decision is a consular decision. It's discretionary. So there's no appealing this. Basically, what this person is going to have to do is go back to the consulate and do lots of explaining with documentation and try to get a new visa. I mean, Alan, do you disagree?
No, I don't. I agree with you.
Okay.
So we just want to get more details, and then we can help him to go back to the consulate and try to reapply.
yeah, the odds of them doing this on their own, going back there and getting another visa themselves, slim to none.
Got you. All right, here's another one. By the way, folks, remember, call before the top of the hour to get that free immigration consultation, mini consultation. All right. It says here, my American girlfriend is proposing that we get married this year so she could start filing for me. However, I am concerned about the filing process because my mother, who is a permanent resident in the United States, is already filing for me. I have not yet received any paperwork from my mom's filing, although she said she has initiated the process. My girlfriend is of the view that marrying her will get me into the US faster. I await your reply. Well, by the way, people can file for as many ways legitimately, gentlemen, right?
That's right.
That's right.
They can put in 5 different petitions if they like. Whichever one happens faster, we'll get them in faster. Definitely get married. Mother's petition, I'm assuming this person's over 21.
Yes.
Mother's petition is going to take years. Get married, have your wife file for you.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right. Once again, folks, you're listening to the attorneys right here on 93.5 WVIP FM. I want everyone to have their phone number. Remember, call before the top of the hour to get that free consultation. Speak to the attorneys and then hire them. The number, once again, is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPIDLAW. Final question. I'm on a J1 visa. My visa got expired, okay, back in February 26th of this year. Now I am having a 30 days grace period. I want to change my status from J1 to F1, but my waiver and change of status are in process. Can I stay here until my change of status process completes?
Well, when the person is talking about waiver, if there's a waiver necessary, it's because the person was subject to a 2-year foreign residence requirement. So we need more information about what's going on with the waiver. And we can get in touch with us and try to figure out how we need more information about that.
Alan, sounds like, I mean, if she's going to change her status, most likely to tourist, you don't need a waiver for that.
Okay. All right. But the F1 is not a student visa?
Same thing. Student visa, she changed the F1, she doesn't need a waiver for that either.
Okay. Got you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you hear the experience and the knowledge of the attorneys. I want to thank you all so much for listening on 93.5 FM to Adam Handler. He happens to be the personal injury attorney.
Squeeze.
Yeah.
Before you tune this person out, she filed a change of status from J to F, correct?
Yes.
And she just did it.
J1 to F1.
Not quite as simple as she thinks. Am I speaking correctly, Alan?
Yes. We got to find out more information about why she
definitely call you then. This person, just from hearing you say that, Conrad, they should call you.
It's going to take a long time for her to get that thing approved, and hopefully she did it right. And the school depends on when it starts. She has to be in status for a certain period of time before that school begins. She's got all kinds of situations she's got to deal with, and she has no idea what she's looking at if she did this on her own. So yeah, this is a person who probably wants to reach out to us or contact a lawyer, because she's going to regret it once she's out of status. And that's the direction she's going, I can pretty much assure you. Once she's out of status, that's it. Can't get back in.
So give us a call.
10 o'clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to Cruising with a Case Handler, show on immigration, show on personal injury. Once again, please share. The number also happens to be 844-PPID-LAW. Do remember to email news@ppid.com. Get on our list. Get in our database. We'll send you updates ever so often. I am David Squeeze Annakie on behalf of Annakie. Okay, one of the immigration attorneys, Conrad Pollack, managing partner at the firm, and Adam Handler. We say have yourself an amazing Thursday. All right. Thank you all so much. Remember to call 844-PPID-LAW.